Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Living Better podcast. And today we have an exciting interview. We're going to meet with the Henry Zeifman. He's the CEO of the Perfect Sleep Pad, an amazing sleeping device that I discovered upon doing my research and looking for something to fix the problem that I had with my wife in terms of variable sleep temperature. This thing has been truly amazing. So we'll definitely talk about this throughout the following up interview. So while we're talking about sleep, I want to take a moment to plug in our official sponsor, the Sleep Monkey Premium Sleep Mask. If you're looking to improve your sleep, this is actually the first thing I would invest into. It's a sleep mask that blocks all light from hitting your eyes. This way you can stay asleep and have a deep sleep throughout any period of the night or even the day. And it's even amazing if you're going to be traveling, if you're on a plane, if you're going to down south, another hotel or whatnot. This is something that has been a game changer, and we tried many sleep masks throughout our life, me and my wife. And the Sleep Monkey Premium Sleep Mask has been the most amazing thing we ever bought. So check it out. The link's going to be in the description. You can get it on Amazon US and Amazon Canada. They dropped their price recently, so they're actually cheaper than they used to be. So I would go ahead and get my hands on it right now. You're not going to be deceived. As well, this episode of the podcast is sponsored and brought to you by Audible. Audible is offering our American listener a free audiobook with a 30-day trial membership. So if you go to audible.com/living and you sign up for their 30-day free trial membership, you're going to get a free audiobook. So an audiobook is an amazing narrated book in the form of an audio format that you can listen in your phone or at the gym or while you commute. It's really a time saving thing, and if you're not going to be reading books, at least listen to them. It's going to be worth your while, a lot better than listening to the radio or any other stupid talk show you might listen to. So yeah, grab yourself an audiobook, sign up for their 30-day free trial membership, audible.com/living. Today as well, we're going to talk about it throughout the interview, but the listeners of this podcast, we have a promo code called Living Better 20 for the Perfect Sleep Pad and all its accessories. So if you go to theperfectsleeppad.com and at checkout enter Living Better 20, you're going to get 20% on their products. So they're not the cheapest, but it's definitely worth the investment. And if you can get 20% off of it, go for it. You're going to be totally happy with your purchase. And this is what we're going to talk about next. So let's go meet with Henry and see what he has to say about the Perfect Sleep Pad. All right. See you soon. Ciao. All right. Hello, everyone. Another episode of the Living Better podcast. And today we have an exciting guest. We're talking with Henry Zeifman. He's the owner and CEO of the Perfect Sleep Pad, which is a unique device that has many health benefits. And today we're going to talk about it, and we're going to expand on all areas of how it can improve your sleep and what it is exactly. So hi, welcome, Henry.
Thank you, Matt. Thanks for having me on the show.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time to be on it. It's pretty awesome, and I'm excited about this interview so that our listeners can know a bit more about your awesome product. So before we get into it, can you talk a bit more about yourself? What brought you to create the Perfect Sleep Pad, or a little bit more about your history in terms of your business and whatnot?
Sure. So I used to be a mattress manufacturer. Okay. And I was making very unique mattresses with different kinds of foams.
Yeah.
And we were pressure mapping people's bodies to try and make like an orthotic type of mattress.
Okay.
And we were going to license different mattress people to sell it after. We were a little bit ahead of our time with what we were doing. And part of with what we were doing, we were testing out different foams with major foam companies from all around the world and doing pressure mapping of people's bodies with those foams. Some of those foams that we were testing are called cooling foams or gel foams, which are supposed to be very cooling for people that are sleeping on memory foam.
Okay.
and we made very unique mattresses. And we also made a product that was a disappearing bedroom by remote control with a latex mattress.
Okay.
We had a bedroom that disappeared, and we had a dining room table above it. So it was a very unique piece of furniture and required a lot of engineering.
Okay.
And how we got started with the perfect sleep was that I got a phone call from my father, who was 93 years old at the time.
Okay.
And he was crying like a baby that he couldn't sleep. And he told me that he hadn't slept in about 5 nights.
Yeah.
He kept waking up. He was sweating. He was having really bad hot flashes and just couldn't get back to sleep properly. So when he called me finally, he was really distraught. And I went to see him in the middle of the night. Actually, he called me in the middle of the night. And then I spent the next 2 days researching what would be the best solution for him to cool him down.
Yeah. Okay.
And that's when I came up with this technology.
And at the time, were you still working for the mattress company, or when did you make the switch from quitting completely to dedicating yourself to this?
At the time, I was actually working for a multinational health company, which I'm still associated with.
Okay. So what I wanted to talk about, because people don't really know what it is, and we started talking, me and you, because I stumbled upon your product, and what was the problem for me is I'm a hot sleeper and my wife is a cold sleeper. So our problem is we were trying different type of bed sheets, or she would have like 2-3 layers on one side. I would have none. And then during the summer with the AC, and it was a shit show. And we basically couldn't figure it out. And it was always a fight in my relationship about the temperature. So for people that don't know, the Perfect Sleep Pad is a pad that you put on top of your mattress, and it's connected to 2 units in my case, because I have the dual system, and it runs water through some tubing to constantly exchange your body temperature with the water temperature, and runs through a unit that will bring it back to your set temperature. So I bought the product, not even being associated with you or anything. And I think that's important for our listeners, because I don't want to be BS here about a product. It's something that I started using for myself just to fix my issue, and it was totally amazing. And that's how we started talking, me and you. So that's how we came up with this interview for our listeners, to start spreading the word about how amazing this is. And what that did is it brought down the cost of AC in the summer and heating in the winter, because now at night we can turn the temperature down and just regulate our bed environment with our different units on both sides. And this way we started saving a lot of money too on our heating and cooling bills by just using your product. So that's pretty amazing.
So just to give you one idea, Matt, for people that are revving high and are overheating when they're sleeping, the biggest problem today is that 90% of mattresses that are sold, 99% of mattresses that are sold, have some sort of foam top component to them.
Yeah.
Every company that manufactures mattresses wants to emulate the success of Tempur. Yeah. And Tempur has visco foam on the top of their mattress so that you sink in and it's very comfortable. Mm-hmm. But foam is a good insulator. And even the foams that are being sold today and marketed as being cooling foams don't really cool the body when somebody's revving high. Yeah. And one statistic is that 80% of people that have insomnia are revving high. So almost all of them are revving above normal. And part of the problem is that with the modern mattress manufacturing is that the heat from their body, the extra heat, is being trapped by the foam and then exchanged back to the person. One of the phenomenons of sleep is that as you go into deeper sleep phases, your core body gets cooler and cooler. And in order to compensate that your core body doesn't get too cold, it starts to warm again. And it's that change of your core body temperature that switches you out of that deep sleep phase into lighter sleep phases. Yeah. For people that overheat when they sleep, the heat from their body gets trapped in the mattress and eventually gets sent back to their core body and alters their core body temperature to the point where it triggers them to go out of that deep sleep phase. Now, when you're sleeping at night, you only have about 4 REM cycles. So if one of those REM cycles is disrupted because maybe you went to sleep past 12 or 1 o'clock and you missed your first REM cycle, or because you woke up because of excess heat in the mattress, which forced you to come out of your deep sleep phase. With the perfect sleep pad, it goes in between your body and the mattress. So the heat from your body never has a chance to touch the mattress again. It gets picked up by the water that's circulating. It's a closed loop system.
Yeah.
So it works like a radiator in a car. How when you're driving down the highway in your car, the water in the engine is circulated constantly, the coolant, and keeps the engine at one constant temperature. And that's what we do with the pad. We're constantly circulating water and pulling the excess heat away from the body and keeping the core body temperature as constant as possible. The byproduct of that is that we can keep you in deep sleep phase much longer than if you were sleeping just on your own.
Yeah. No, I know. And just for myself, it was a game changer. When I bought that thing, seriously, I started sleeping the best sleep of my life. And I totally love it. Like that's something that once you start using, you'll never go back to not having it. And even like when we go away, me and my wife, and we're like at a hotel or something, forget it. I have a shit sleep. I miss my pad.
Some people call and say they don't want to go on vacation because they don't have their perfect sleep pad with them.
No, it's to bring it to it's a big unit, right?
What I've found is that most people that sleep on it for a long time, I would say probably 95% of those people will never sleep for the rest of their life without the perfect sleep pad.
Because it's true. It's amazing.
You really feel the difference. If you use a sleep tracker, we're monitoring people's sleep and seeing results of 100% increase in REM sleep, not an increase of 4% or 3% or 8%. We're seeing an increase of 100% and very big increases in slow wave sleep as well, especially for the elderly.
Yeah.
So some people have said that this product could become a game changer for people's health because typically as people age, if you look statistically,
they sleep
their REM sleep starts to get diminished.
Yeah, they sleep less, right?
They experience less REM sleep and less slow wave sleep. Okay. But with this technology, it sort of takes over for your circulatory system. So your body as an organism doesn't have to work so hard to try and maintain thermal neutrality, which is not getting cold and not getting warm, to be thermoneutral.
Yeah.
And if you can achieve that when you're sleeping, you will stay in deep sleep phase much, much longer.
Yeah. No, I remember when I talked to you, that's something that we talked about. And at first I was trying with the dial pad, like you can change your degrees there. I was trying to find my perfect sweet spot that I would not be too hot or too cold. And for me, it's about 18 degrees, but my wife sleeps at about 22. And, we're talking about the cooling, but for my wife, she's always cold. And that's the case in, I believe, most women, or in my experience with my past girlfriends, they were always cold. So for her, it's amazing because it regulates her temperature to the up to a better, temperature for her so that she stays in that sleep phase. And in my case, because I rev hot, it brings me back to something that keeps me in that phase. And I believe like today, people don't sleep much, right? They spend more money on coffee. They are always in a rush. They cut on their sleeping cycles to do more chores, and they're in a rush with kids, and, they sleep less and less. So the quality is something that's very important. If you're not going to be able to sleep more, at least have better quality.
Absolutely. There's a lot of factors today. People are living in big cities and are bombarded with electromagnetic fields, with radio waves, with military waves. They're living high up in the air. They're not grounded. When you go back a couple hundred years ago, people used to sleep on the ground.
Yes.
And the ground is a very good for grounding.
Yeah.
It pulls the extra electrons away. It pulls the extra heat into the ground. It's a very good heat sink.
Yeah.
So it was a natural environment to fall asleep on. But now we're sleeping on synthetic materials, which people don't realize are contrary to their better health.
Yeah, no, exactly. It's evolution, right? We don't sleep on the floor anymore, but yeah.
The average North American is achieving 1 hour less of REM sleep than they did only 20 years ago. So the difference of 1 hour of REM sleep is quite significant. Just to give you one idea, 90% of all the new cells that grow in your body, Matt, it only happens when you're in REM sleep.
Yeah.
So REM sleep is a critical part of your day.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you.
In regards to people want to build up their immune system to protect themselves against viruses and other things.
The coronavirus at the moment.
Yeah, I don't even want to mention it.
Might as well joke about it because we're all staying home and everything's shut down. So,
but the best thing you can do as a line of defense, is to increase your REM sleep. Yes. Because again, 90% of all the new cells that form in your body happens only in REM sleep. So for people who are REM sleep deprived or challenged, it's a disaster for their health. And for people that are sort of approaching more of a midlife or after midlife, their sleep tends to, patterns tend to change. So this is a game changer for a lot of people because now somebody who's 60, 70 years old can sleep the way they did when they were, in their 20s.
Yeah, by regulating their temperature to the same kind of level, right?
Yeah. We're working with a lot of lucid dream people all around the world. And
awesome.
It's an interesting phenomenon. And when you sleep on the perfect sleep pad, you can experience lucid dreaming. You can also experience that you will remember your dream much, much longer, sometimes for 15 minutes, and it's very vivid. And that should be showing you that you are in a very deep sleep state and you're staying there much longer than you would if you weren't sleeping on the pad.
Yeah, and I can relate to that myself. I've been dreaming pretty much every night now. And even my wife, we get those crazy dreams and we talk about it the next day. And we're like, oh my, that was nuts, but we never dreamed before.
Yeah, it's an interesting phenomenon, sleeping on the pad. It shows you that you are in a deep sleep state and you're staying there for a much longer period of time because you're trapped by temperature. What happens is your body, actually your core body, you have two temperatures. You have an outer shell temperature and you have an inner core temperature. Mm-hmm. So your inner core temperature, when you put the pad at the right temperature for how you are revving, your core body will pair with the pad temperature-wise. And it doesn't get cold, it doesn't get warm. It stays thermoneutral. Yes. And by doing that, you can elongate those deep sleep phases.
Yes, and I think that's what it's important for people to know. It's all about temperature, and most people in their experience, without even us talking about this, they probably remember multiple times that they woke up and they were hot and sweating, and that's why they woke up. They were too hot. Their temperature changed throughout the night, and that's the thing too. As we cover with blankets, especially like when you're two, like me and my wife, well, both body heat stays trapped underneath. So then it starts creating this dome of heat and then it wakes us up. And I was reading like research and that's what they were saying. One of the things that they say is if you want a better sleep cooler at night. But the reason being is if we go back to years, like even decades ago, people would go by the sun, right? So when the sun rises up, it starts to warm up the
the ground, and they would, like you said, they slept on the ground, right? So it would warm up the ground, it would warm up everything, and then your body would switch in the other gear. All right, it's time to wake up, right? And then when the sun would go down, temperature would fall, and then people would fall asleep.
If you check somebody's internal core body temperature, as you approach the night, your core body temperature goes down.
Yeah.
So all sleep scientists talk about the fact that you should cool the room down in order to fall asleep easier and faster.
Yes, that's what I'm referring to.
They measure sleep quality by how fast you fall asleep and how much time you spend in deep sleep.
Mm-hmm.
So with our pad, it allows you to fall asleep much faster.
Yeah.
And because you're trapping the core body temperature at one constant temperature as much as possible, you can elongate that deep sleep phase because you're not being affected by the temperature of the mattress anymore, or the covers, or the ambient room temperature.
Yeah.
You're pairing your body with the temperature of the pad. You use it as a tool for deep sleep.
Yeah, no, exactly. It's it regulates it, so that dome doesn't matter anymore. There's nothing else that matters. You stay in there, and the temperature's constant, and you stay asleep up to either your alarm or when you wake up and you're done. Your REM sleep.
According to the American Sleep Council, North American Sleep Council, one out of 4 couples, 25% of the population of married couples can't sleep on the same mattress together because they each have their own temperature requirement.
Talking about my struggle before the sleep pad, that's what it was. Yeah, it was.
So it's a beautiful thing to be able to sleep on the perfect sleep pad.
Yeah.
Because on the queen and the king size, as you know, we have 2 different zones built in. So each person has their exact unique temperature that's best for them to fall asleep and to stay in deep sleep.
Yes, and I think that's important. We can talk a bit more about your different products. So you have dual zone system, which is one big pad like I have, that in the middle, there's like the tubing doesn't connect. So one side connects with one machine, the other side connects with the other machine. So you have dual zone controls for couples, but people that are sleeping in single beds, maybe even children, they can buy those single units, which is just a smaller pad for a single bed. Or
a lot of times we have older clients who maybe are by themselves, or even younger clients who may be by themselves. They're one person sleeping on a queen or a king size bed. So we have single and twin sizes that have straps running vertically so that you can place the mattress the pad anywhere you want on the mattress.
Okay, cool. Well, anyways, if we talk a bit price-wise, some people, they might think it's a bit expensive at first, but like in my case, that the money I've spent on this is worth every penny. I had it for, about 2.5 years now, and I can't sleep without it. And, people spend money on all sort of stupid shit and irrelevant things sometimes, and gadgets and TVs and new, Xbox, whatever. But people don't invest much in their sleep. And I think that that's something that would be really valuable for people to invest in. If we talk price-wise, roughly, a king size unit is what? A double, like that's your biggest, right? Your most expensive thing is the king size double zone.
Most people buy a single if they only are one person.
Yeah.
And the single is around $4.99.
So, people, they spend about $2 on a coffee every day. That's what, 365 years times 2, that's 700 something dollars. So,
the other issue is, Matt, that a lot of people are going out. What happens is a lot of people have mattresses that are possibly 15 or 20 years old.
Yes, you're right.
And they decide that they want to go and invest money, hard-earned money, to buy a new mattress because they feel that by buying a new mattress,
that will change their sleep. Yeah.
They'll have a better sleep and it'll help with their health. Right.
Yes, exactly.
So, but what people are finding is that when they go out and buy a new mattress, now all the new mattresses, like we talked about before, have foam on top.
Yes.
So they're going from possibly a spring type of mattress with a very thin polyurethane, piece of foam on top of the springs just to cushion the feeling of it. Now they're going to a full foam, mattress where there's no airflow or very limited airflow. There's very limited moisture, being absorbed and taken away.
Yes.
When people are healthy, if they're revving neutral, they give off over 1 liter of water per night of moisture.
Yes.
So, and that's if people are revving neutral. If they're revving high, they can be giving off a lot more moisture than that.
Yeah.
So, sleeping on these synthetic mattresses are really a disaster for people's health. So by putting the perfect sleep pad in between your body and the mattress, you're creating a perfect environment for you to fall asleep faster and stay in your perfect sleep temperature, which is very important to having continuous REM sleep and deep sleep.
Yes. And I think that we're talking about REM sleep, but not everybody knows what it is. So I would invite our listeners to just Google search REM sleep and the benefits of REM sleep so they can actually understand what your body does in REM sleep and how beneficial it is to stay in it. Because me and you are not scientists, so we don't need to go and talk about all of that. But when we're talking about the perfect sleep pad and the increase in REM sleep, I think it'd be important that people might do their own research if they don't agree with us or they're a little skeptical, because, like I said, I'm not, BAs here. I bought this on my own, and that's how I came to talk to you about it, because that's the goal of this podcast is to, find new gadget tricks, tips, interviews to help people with their health. And that's something that I was really looking forward to because it's amazing. And I'm happy that together we set up a discount code for the listeners. So if they think that $400 is too much, well, if they use the checkout code, which is Living Better 20 at checkout, they get 20%. So there you go, listeners. Stop making excuses and go get some perfect sleep pads so you can increase your sleep and have the best quality of sleep you can possibly imagine. And
one of the other things, Matt, I think the listeners should know about is that the way that we create the temperature variation is very unique. We have a small control unit that works on a very unique technology, and we can create cool or warmth and change the temperature of the water. And the only thing that's running through our pad is water tubes, as you know. Yes. We don't have any wires in our pad to conduct or to make the temperature.
No.
So if you were to check the surface of your bed with our pad on it, we have 0 electromagnetic field. And that's very important because people should be aware that when they're sleeping, and especially in REM sleep, it's very important not to have electromagnetic fields around your body.
Yeah.
Like people that sleep with electric blankets.
Garbage.
You're wrapping yourself in electromagnetic field.
Yes.
And if you go on Google and type Dr. Weil electric blankets, you'll see that it's a very bad thing.
Yes.
So what we're doing with temperature is very unique because we're affecting your inner core temperature, and we do it all with 0 electromagnetic field. We also we do not advocate people using Bluetooth in their bedroom.
No, that's something that they say too, right? Don't have TVs in your bedroom. Don't put your Wi-Fi phone or your phone near your head because that's all electrical magnetic field, and it disrupts sleeps.
It disrupts your sleep. So you want to put your phone on airplane mode before you go to sleep.
Yes.
So that you shut off all the signals coming in and out of the phone.
Yeah.
It's very important. Some people even shut off the power breaker to their bedroom. Yeah. Because in Germany, they talk about something called electrosmog.
Okay.
Which is that if you were to take a meter and check where your outlets are, your electrical outlets.
Yeah.
you have electricity that's emanating out of your outlets, and you can trace the electricity right through the walls because of the electromagnetic field. And in Germany, they talk about something that when you're sleeping on the bed in Europe, people sleep on beds that are much lower than in North America.
Mm-hmm.
In Europe, the beds are around 18 inches to 20 inches high.
Okay.
In North America, they're around 24 inches high. So you're almost sleeping at the same line as the electrical outlets. And they say that the energy that's emanating from the electrical outlets, if you're sleeping across from sliding mirror doors, that the energy from the outlets will hit the mirror and be reflected back at the bed and amplified.
Wow. Eh?
So it's important not to sleep with mirrors across from your bed, like a wall of sliding mirror doors.
Yeah. Okay. Like people that have closets or,
Yeah, sliding closet mirror doors.
Yeah. Okay. I got it. All right. No, but it's interesting. Like those are all other tips too, one of them that I saw was just to buy those, portable clocks that you put batteries in, and you can put your alarm on that instead of your phone beside your bed. Right. So you use that type of alarm instead,
So one of the things of sleeping, Matt, is that the worst thing you can do to wake up is use an alarm, because
yes,
when you go into deeper sleep phases, it's important to come out of those deep sleep phases when you wake up.
Yeah.
One of the functions of our pad is we have a function called warm wake up. So you can program the pad. I don't know if you're aware of it.
No, tell me about it, because I'm excited. I'm like, what? There's something I don't know about this pad? All right, I don't know.
There's a whole other science behind warm wake up. And because if you follow the circadian rhythm, what happens is, we talked about before that people's core body temperature starts to cool as they approach the evening. And throughout the night, you have like a curve. So as you approach the morning time, your core body starts to warm.
Yes.
And as your core body warms, it brings you out of a deep sleep phase into a wake up phase. For people that wake up with an alarm clock, if you happen to be in a deep sleep phase when your alarm goes off, it'll jolt you out of that deep sleep phase. And it's very bad. So one of the functions of our pad is that you can do something called warm wake up, which means that the pad will warm itself about 15 or 20 minutes before it's time for you to wake up in the morning.
Wow.
And automatically bring you out of deep sleep phase, no matter what. Naturally.
Yes, because the heat will make you naturally come out because it's getting warmer, right? So, wow, that's awesome. That's a game changer. See, now I'm excited about it. I'm going to try it tonight, actually. And if it's reliable enough, then I won't need any alarm anymore. I'll just go with that and wake up naturally.
You can program for your natural body to wake up naturally.
All right. Well, you can tell me about it after we shut down this interview, so I know what button to press on my machine, because I'm all excited about this. This is awesome. All right. Well, anyways, I wanted to know, before we wrap up this interview, what is your most successful story in terms of somebody that used your pad and improve his sleep quality, whatever result that gave them?
So, Matt, what your listeners may want to know also is, unfortunately, 1 out of 3 people are getting cancer in Canada, right? And it's supposed to go to 1 out of 2.
Yes.
And one of the byproducts of cancer treatment is that people are going home and they're lying in bed and they can't fall asleep at night because they have hot flashes, they have hot puff. It's really, really challenging and difficult for them to fall asleep.
Yes, it's a byproduct of cancer, yes.
Yeah, of the treatment as well.
Yeah.
So what we find is that by sleeping on the perfect sleep pad, not only can cancer patients fall asleep much faster, but people call me and tell me that, now they're sleeping right through the whole night. They're not waking up several times.
Wow.
And the problem with waking up during the night is that if you happen to be, again, you only go through about 4 REM cycles
Yeah. Per night. Yeah.
per night. And if you wake up because of temperature during one of those REM cycles, then 25% of your REM sleep could be wiped out,
Yes, of course.
So it's very important to maintain that core body temperature in order to maintain those deep sleep phases. And to have that consistency all night long.
All the time, every night. Yeah.
Is the difference, because for a cancer patient,
yes,
if they lose 4 hours of sleep in just one night, the killer cells in their bloodstream can be diminished up to 70%.
Wow.
So it's almost impossible for them to heal themselves.
If they don't sleep well, of course.
And their doctor doesn't tell them about the perfect sleep pad,
Well, not many people know about it. That's why we're doing this to try. Well, we're doing this because people don't know, right? I never knew about it until I stumbled upon it on my own research, because I like to research things and try to improve my own health. So that was what I was looking forward to, and trying to fix my problem with my wife, because I was trying different things and mattresses and all that crap and different blankets.
We had one client, Matt, that bought 5 different mattresses and returned them. He said that all 5 mattresses were advertised as cooling mattresses, right?
Yes.
And none of them did the job.
No.
Until he bought the perfect sleep pad, and it did the job the first night.
You'd be better buying a shit mattress at a thrift store and put the perfect sleep pad on it. And, you'd probably sleep better.
So you said about money,
yes.
Like is 400 or is 800, yes. Is that a lot of money to
for
achieve
health,
good health?
No.
People are spending $5,000, $4,000, $3,000 on a good mattress, which they think is good.
Yes.
Because they've spent so much money. And in the end, they're not achieving good sleep on it.
Yeah, they're not getting what they wanted out of it, no.
So I believe that this technology is worth every penny.
No, I totally agree with you. So anyways, for people that want your product, they can go to the perfectsleeppad.com. Like I said, they can use their checkout code we created together, Living Better 20. For the listeners of this podcast, they get 20% on any product that they select in their basket. I think you're on Amazon too. That's another way to get your product.
Yeah.
Are you Amazon US as well, or Amazon Canada?
We're on both Amazon US, Amazon Canada. We're on Wayfair.
All right.
We're on different medical sites.
Okay. And do you have any research on that on your website, or things that people can read?
Sure. Absolutely.
Yes. All right.
If they go to www.perfectsleeppad.com,
they can read all about it over there, or do their own research. Like I said, if they want to know about REM sleep.
It's very interesting to read up on sleep. Sleep is the key to the lock of health.
Well, I believe that too. I think that's the one thing that people are cutting more and more of nowadays. And it's the one thing they should focus more on instead of anything else, So anyway.
And it's kudos to you, Matt, because it's people like you who are bringing awareness to the general public.
Yeah. Well, thank you. That's why I try to do it. That's the idea with the podcast. So, listeners out there, check it out. Perfect Sleep Pad, amazing product. Like I said, it's a game changer. It changed my life and the life of my wife in terms of quality of sleep. And we're shift workers too, so our sleep quality is very important because we switch from days to night. So, with that, it tricks our body to not know if it's day or night. We put a blindfold too. We have a mask that we put, a sleeping mask, and that's how we trick our eyes. And then we use a perfect sleep pad to trick the temperature. So anyways, Henry, thank you so much. That was a really interesting interview. I hope the listeners enjoyed it as much as I did, because I believe that that's what we have to do. Share the knowledge and find tricks, tips, gadgets to improve our health. So
thank you for having me on. It's a pleasure, man.
Thank you so much, Henry.